Well, happy Sunday here at
Yeah.
Laurel Park. We had the Sizzler Saturday yesterday, so I don't really have an adjective for Sunday, but here we are, here Sunday anyway, here at Laurel Park, here Callie Francois as your host, and Keith Fustel next to me, our morning line odds maker. Keith, great day of racing that we had yesterday.
Very good day.
Yeah.
Good crowd, a good handle. Handle looked good. I saw a
hmm
couple of races popping up over 500,000. So you
I
got
think
to
we
like
hit
that,
4.
huh?
I
Yeah.
think we hit just over a touch over 4
Wow.
yesterday.
Yeah. So thanks to everybody who contributed. It was part of the game. Good action. Dealt with a little bit of weather. Little rain came in, changed the courses a little bit,
It
but we
did.
got through it. Talking about it. Chubwagon, Belagambe, Baron, and what was the other thing? Eons and a little
Eons, yes.
little DQ
Little
action there.
spat, yep.
Unfortunately, with the
English
connections
Tavern.
English Tavern.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but no, good day all in all. Ready to wrap up the weekend today with an 8-race card.
Yes, and we'll get going at it. Let's take a look at the track real quick outside. If track is fast, turf is firm. We only had that little bit of rain spurt yesterday, and after that, things dried up. We didn't have any rain overnight, so things certainly are drying up. It was a little bit wet this morning in the workouts, but over the course of the morning, it did dry up. I think we're going to have a nice fast track for today. Nicely going. So let's kick in
Okay.
right away to
Let's
this
go.
maiden claiming 30, 8.5 mile and 16th on the turf. We land similarly, but you go in with number 10 California Flirt. For Bobby Hawthorne, Abner Arduino shipping in, had a nice go about it last time. Just had a little bit, was just a bit too far back last time from the rest of the field. A little bit too far back, a little too late. May kind of just lagged a little bit on the middle of that back stretch there.
Yeah, Bobby Hawthorne doesn't run a lot of horses here. Adorno, he's hit a couple races, Mr. Thrifty, right, over the last month or so. So he's riding well when he comes down to Laurel Park. Hawthorne with shippers, pretty good. 4 for 22, 11 for 22 in the money last few years with a positive ROI. I thought the turf debut was all right. Broke a little tardy, got squeezed just a little bit at the break, and then kind of had to maneuver through a lot of traffic. Some start and stops with the run. Really leveled off well through the final 3/16 of a mile. I think he comes out of a better race than some of these other ones because Sakatumi came back with a 71. Tis a Giant, a 74 at Saratoga. Relaxed trip. There's some questionable flow in here. I think the field might come back, and California Flirt might go by.
There's a couple of speed in here that I just don't quite trust, especially with Curtis with the 3 that I can see right away. But there's definitely enough speed in here that I don't trust. I end up going with Pursuing Pace just on the inside of that, where this is, again, I don't go with the lead horse here, but just we've got that was a great ride that Dennis Araujo gave that horse. So we have Horacio Caramanos back on. We'll see what happens, but didn't get the best of breaks last time, so hopefully comes out of that a little bit cleaner. I like the little bit of the stretch out on the turf with this 8.5. So we'll kick on to race number 2.
Okay.
But before we kick on to race number 2, you have an early pick 4 that we have lined up on the
right.
screen that we're about to see very soon. So kick it away.
There you go, $30 ticket. A little spread here. 2 times 3, 6 times 2 is 12. Yes, that is 30. I'm
That
just
is
going to make
30.
sure my math is right, Callie. I was okay. I had a B+ A student there in math, but didn't really get
Don't
deep
look at
into
me.
it.
The
No?
only way I'm good with numbers is the clock in my head.
Okay.
So
1-3 to get you started. Brondo and Jackie A in race number 2. I do fear Kieran there a little bit, so if you can afford to toss the 6 in there, go ahead. Race 3, we go 3 deep with the 2, 4, and 10. Race 4, I'm just going to try to beat the favorite. Going to try to beat Paxera. Go with the 2, Ranchar, and the 5, Dat Dares Gold. Race 5 is a spread race for me. 1, 2, 3, 7, 10. Lots of ways to go. Like some value there with Benny Havens. There's your ticket.
Definitely.
30 for the early pick 4.
Definitely. So then we kick off with your double in this race number 2, the Claiming 40, 6 on the dirt. We've got a stat right away on your top selection. Brando for Lacey Gaudet, Johan Rosado. I feel like this horse, especially just with that last run off of the claim, is going to come in nicely.
Yeah, and a key scratch with the 2, Dream Happy being out, who's going to be some speed right to the outside of Brando. He'll be forward, the 1, right from the rail. If he breaks good, he's going to be into the race. Lacey Gaudet, I like this stat. Last 3 years, 5 for 19, 26% in 26% in the money's solid as well. We missed that. First off the claim, dirt sprints here at Laurel. Look at that ROI. 3:37.
There we go.
That's a good one. Comes out of a race off of a win back in late April at Churchill Downs. Moved up and engaged a 4-5 shot, just disposed of that one and went on
Right.
with it. I like that move. Haney Boys came back to ran a big number, 82 in its next start. Brondo, it's a set sail. Just get up into
Set
the
sail.
race early, and I
Yep.
think he will stay around.
Yep, and this horse has that, especially that sharp gate speed. Last time out is really going to set him up nicely on that inside rail. I just go underneath, and you go underneath too with Jackie A. First coming off of the layoff, I've been working. Did the work. I sat on him in the June 29th work, I believe. But as we're looking at Jackie A. right now here, that's it was the last back in November. Of last year, going that nice go, but it needs to be a little bit more forwardly placed. This horse doesn't have a crazy turn of foot,
No.
but as you can see, he's properly placed in that
This is the best race on this page, Callie.
Yes.
Was able to sit inside, relaxed a little bit. You had to stay with him, past the 3/8, shifts out and brings a good, steady progression. He didn't live up to those races after that, but he's really coming to this race with good string of works, steady works, solid works. Dale off of time. He's very capable. Probably going to fire a good shot, I think, off the break. Once was probably hoping Dream Happy was still in here to maybe set things up a little bit, but Ridgepoint could possibly go and try to engage Brondo. But
I do.
Jackie A is fresh and should make a good run.
And he is. He's with what I felt underneath me. He might be a little bit touch quicker and fresh, like you said, coming out for this debut. And I feel like if he's fresh and he's up there, it's fine. It's a-okay if he's up there. I go also with Ridgepoint, which you mentioned, the Kieran Migi. Don't be afraid to put that horse on your ticket as well. Adding on to Keith's early pick 4 with Centeno on. This horse is going to be able to make a little. We're cutting this back down for this horse. Didn't get the best of trips last time out. Got caught a little bit in between on the backside. Tried to make some room for him. Just faltered. So, but this is the kind of horse that Kieran McGee can kind of really sharpen up, which is why he's 23% with a new horse in the barn.
Well, this is a horse they paid 64. Ran it back as a 2-year-old for 30. It was a little questionable. They jumped in. They took the horse, but 3% trainer, 5% trainer the last 2 times this horse has run Ridgepoint. Kieran's a little bit better than that, right? And he's very good off the claim. Could be sharp. Could be looking to prompt that pace just outside of Brondo. Ness round on Kern will try to make a run into it as well. 1-3-6-5.
1-3-6-5 for Keith Fusel in the second. But before we kick on to the third, I've got a pick 6 that I started with, and I don't go quite as wide and new in some races. I keep it pretty tight, pretty even. I just couldn't find a single. I wasn't really, to be honest, I wasn't extremely passionate about a ton of these races, and the thing is, I could go deep. If I was going to go deep anywhere, it probably would be in race number 7. Excuse me, in that nice event. But just going in, race number 3, I go with the 1-4-6, 2 and 3. Sick Pack Sarah, Ranchar. I was thinking about, I have that Dara's Gold underneath in my selections, but I just thought I would go with those 2 as a little bit more solid. Race number 5. This race number 5 is where I would go wide. There were a lot of horses that caught my attention in there, but you didn't have them on your picks, but I go with the number 7, Call Me Plucky, for the Russell horse. I think ever since coming back into Maryland, this horse just did not appreciate the fairgrounds back at all. Race number 6 is where I go. I just take it too wide. I just take it. This is a tight ticket, and I just go with I'm Blushing and Charming Way. I'm losing my pace. I go with the 3 and the 7 and the 8 with Gaston Babe, which you have on top as well. That Justin Nixon first time router. We've got some nice stats coming up on that horse later on when we get to that race. And in race number 8, our nightcap, I go with Policewoman and Major Amiga. I think Majora Amiga is probably going to get the jump. I'm just giving this horse a little bit of that experience benefit. Policewoman, I like her. Don't exactly trust her, but a nice light ticket for $43.20 for your pick 6. And we do have a carryover of about $5,000 from yesterday, so that does start in race 3. But let's get into race 3. That starter optional 30, 5.5 here on the turf. And Keith, we both land on Olive Cat, and I think Olive Cat in this race and in this setup, the speed is really going to be in a favorable position for Olive Cat. I like that she's had that one go on the turf, and we're coming back for the second time on the turf for her.
Yeah, she got back to her favorable surface last time out, made a move into a pretty good pace, kept on willingly through the wire. I like that. It looks like she's raced back into top shape. Yes, she is 0 for 3 at Laurel, but you go back and look at some of those races. She had some excuses in those tries. So there's not a slew of really super speed in here. I think the flow will be right up her alley. I don't think she necessarily needs the lead. So I looked some of her tries. She's run well on a course that has a little bit of give. I know we're calling the turf course firm, but we did have that rain yesterday, so maybe just a touch, less than firm. But I think she can sit just off of it and grind that last 3/16 of a mile. She'll be pretty tenacious, I think, through the stretch, trying to hold off the closers. Jenny Highway, Mucha Moschino. We've got a video of Jenny Highway's last race, right?
Yes, we do.
This was going long, Callie. A mile and a mile, flat mile.
Flat mile.
Yes, into some slow fractions. And Jenny Highway just was bottled up. You
Nowhere
see
to
the
go.
comment, yeah. Waited at the turn. You see in the pink cap with those pinkish blinkers, running about fourth, fifth now, just trying to navigate through traffic. And just too much.
Wall of
Look at
horses
this.
right there.
Oh,
Wall of
one,
horses.
two,
Tried
three.
to make it. Jamie Rodriguez tried to make a little bit of a fighting chance for her, but just was overcome with the horses that are in there. Then tried to go in between horses, but just wasn't. There she goes. Once she gets clear, then she starts making a little bit of a run. So, to me, again, this is one I've swung my leg over. She's a bigger type of filly, so the only reason I'm sitting back on her a little bit is because she's just this bigger filly. I love her over these longer distances. She just happened to get unlucky last time out, so Dale just is maybe cutting his ties a little bit and just dropping her in and shortening her up. Hopefully she doesn't get into any trouble like she did last time out, but she did show that when she's kind of slung back a little bit, she can show a little bit of an ability of a turn of foot. I have Modata underneath with Ronald Rogers coming in. I like that possible pocket scenario that this horse is going to be getting on the rail. I think this horse will be fine, and just we're going to have the same type of situation and same type of game plan with Danny. And I like Danny. I think Danny, with the situation and the horse that Modata is, I think Danny's going to fit this filly very, very well.
Okay. There you go.
There we go.
What about Muchas Moschino? Do you have her in the mix at all? I do. The 10.
Tell me.
Yeah, let's talk about her real quick.
Yes.
Again, last time, a mile, 16th, I think it's just a touch too far for her. She's now fourth race back off of a break. She's run well over this turf course at sprinting distances. Keys up against the right kind of horses. Beantown Baby. There's no Beantown Baby in here. I think Hernandez will be able to kind of drop in around that turn, sit chilly. This horse will bring a finish as well. Kind of the same kind of running pattern as Jenny Highway. Mucha Moschino might have even a little bit more tactical speed.
I like that. I think Mucha Moschino is going to have a lot of tactical speed. It's just that I'm going with a hunch in the sense where whenever Mark Savaggio seems to come here at Laurel, he just doesn't seem to have the best of luck. So I had this horse within my picks. I just left Mucha Moschino off of my ticket for today, but hoping that for the best for Mucha Moschino. But let's kick into race number 4, claiming 8, 5.5 on the dirt. You land on number 5. So that there's Gold, who I have underneath as well, for Kenny Cox, Kevin Gomez. Kenny Cox having a nice go with Synergy's Energy in that win yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
2 days ago. So, but this horse is coming off of a win. Very, very consistent horse.
Yeah. I think that There's Gold is going to sit the perfect trip in here. She got the jump last time when she got to her favorite spot, the conditioned nickel, right? She's been deadly at the conditioned nickel, so she's trying to exercise that demon, which has been the open company for her. But you look at this race. Eloquent Lady wants to be close. Ranchar certainly. Sickback Sarah right to the front. Stay out's another speed type, and so is Our True Sensation. Kenny Cox's horses are running well. He's had a very good meet. That There's Good. The last time she kind of jumped into this lower 60 category of buyers, she paired it up. I think she's going to pair up today and run into the flow that's just going to be right up her alley. Ranchar off the claim I'll use. Sickback Sarah, she's the quickest of the speed, but claim for 8, now back in for 6. And Ness, now I'll just put him right in the winner's circle, but he's 3 for 28 the last couple months at Laurel. So a little chilly. He was rolling right along. Maybe he gets back in the winner's circle. Going to be a short price. I try to beat her.
Go for it. I mean, to go for it. I understand why. To me, I just can't deny that little bit of speed, speed that she's going to be offering for these types of horses in this field. But as you said, she could be the nice pace setter to set up something else for horses underneath, like I have with Ranchar and Dat Dares Gold. Yeah. So let's kick in to a quick commercial before we kick into the rest of the card.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
we go in race number 5, a nice mile and 16th allowance here on the turf. And let's dig in right away to your top selection, Keith. Benny Havens with TJ Aguirre, Xavier Perez on top. Having this horse got sent last time out, and I don't know if that was the instructions or not, but hopefully gets a little bit of a different trip today coming off of the pace.
Yeah, we're going to go to a Wayback Machine here, October 23rd, right? Not too far back, but makes a big run, a significant run. A lot of, 5 wide, hung out there, just couldn't quite sustain. This is in the Maryland Million turf. Some kind of magician. John G. is in there as well. And that was just the downfall. Maybe a little too soon, too wide, couldn't quite, keep going. Mile of 16th today. We're third back off of a layoff. You talked about last time, was up there kind of chasing the pace.
Yep.
Was in the clear, but then got in a real tricky predicament coming to the quarter pole to the 3/16. Got bottled up, had to check, faded. Now we got the X-Man. We've got a little more experienced rider. I think he'll settle in just behind the speed. Power back will be close. Borgo by the sea. The 6 horse, I think, will go. So they'll be your pace setters. I think Benny Havens drop in there about 3rd or 4th. If he can save some ground.
Yep.
He'll bring a finish. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but he holds all the price, 8, 10, 12 to 1. Use them in your exactas, top and bottom. Fermat will get a little bit more flow. Liked him last time. I got abused by Naomi. Perfect. I deserved it. Couldn't get up, at a mile and 3/8, but he's back to his game at a mile and 16th, and John G as well. John G, third back off a break. English Tavern, we saw what he did yesterday. Nick Papa, Georgia. These horses, they're better. Comes back a little bit relief here. John G will make a run from the back.
Yeah, I cautiously waited on John G. I had Benny Havens underneath, but I just found a couple of horses just a little bit more intriguing. I go with, as I said, Call Me Plucky, which I mentioned. Essentially, with this horse back in Maryland, has just clearly shown enjoys like being in Maryland back more. I don't think that horse just took to the fairgrounds turf at all. And then underneath, I go with Fermat. I liked what I saw as far as Marilyn McMullen, especially in that last late rally. Had to go a little bit wide, was a little bit behind some horses, and got maybe a little bit. Again, that was another situation. I think we're asked a little bit early, but going 2 back, that was quite a finish, and I like that. This is the right distance for this horse to step up to the allowance level. And then I also put Toe Curling Kiss. Sure, it's a little bit of a it's a little bit of a stretch, but that horse, once this is another horse. A couple of horses here that are on the upswing, but I think this is the time for Toe Curling Kiss to hop up. A little bit short, just coming back. I wish he had a little bit. I wish I saw a little bit more time for this horse, and then I go with the 13 Celtic Treasure on the outside. Jamie Ness, Angel Cruz. This horse is the type of horse that kind of needs a dirt ride on the turf, and that's where Angel Cruz does come in because he can give some dirt. She can give some dirt rides on some turf or on some turf races. So that's where that kind of fits in with it. So let's kick on to race number 6.
Okay.
That claiming 47 furlongs on the dirt. You go with the number 6, Peachy Weechy for Jose D'Angelo. Toledo, blinkers off this time. I was just taking a look at this filly, and I was thinking about putting her on my ticket, but I just left her off. Was just kind of being a little bit cautious today.
That's fine. That's all good. That's why we gamble. We step to the window and play this game day in and day out. Scratch the 2. Princess Cupid is going to be part of the pace. Scratch the 9. Freccia D'Arto. So I just think I struggle with this race. I struggle making the line again. I say this a lot. And I struggle handicapping this race. I think this is a really tricky race because nobody's super consistent. The most consistent horse scratched. I thought that was Princess Cupid. But Peachy Weechy, I'll just say, hey, that was the experiment with the blinkers went wrong.
Right.
Wasn't good at all. 7/8 turning back, I like that. Had a sweeping kind of a move under a hustling ride at Gulfstream 2 races back. I think that's good enough to kind of put her in a position to grind it out through the last 1/8 of a mile. Pace will be brought, I believe, by the 3 prepared to take off. We'll probably go ahead and send Sensen will be right there, as will Joe Mike Jim. Joe Mike Jim's going to sit a very good trip, prompting the issue. So I go 6 on top to grind them down. Jerusalema, I think the turn back works well for her. You've got Sheldon Russell teaming up with Fair, a little bump up. One of her best racers puts it in the mix, but I thought the 6th race was very difficult to get through.
It was difficult, so just keying in on my top 2, that's the reasons that you brought up is the exact reasons I picked on top. I think Joe Mike Jim is just going to get a little bit of the benefit of the trip. Is when you come to find horses that aren't quite consistent, this horse is consistent enough going short that send them long, give it a go, give it a try. Let's see what we have, and then with Jerusalem underneath. Again, that's those sloppy, those muddy runs are going to transfer to this turf, I think, today very, very nicely.
Okay.
So that's where those are the angles that I'm coming from. Race number 7 is that allowance, mile and 16th on the turf for the fillies and mares this time, and we both land finally on one in the same with Gastown Babe, Justin Nixon, Dennis Arujo. We've got a video spotlight for this filly coming off of the pace, and just Justin Nixon stretching it out. First route, 2 for 2 as of late.
Yeah, as of late. Unfortunately, sprinter route on the turfs over the last 5 years, he doesn't do this move a lot.
Okay.
He's 0 for 8, 1 for 8 in the money. So we got a little hope and praying going on. But Gastown Babe, beautifully trained up to this race. Very professional effort, I thought. Relaxed off the pace, off an experienced horse, a heavy favorite that's going clear right there. But look at this run. She unleashes the fury through the final 3/16 of a mile. Look at this. Sustains on the correct lead. You got to love this. Breeding leans a little sprint. But, man, she's got talent. You see the talent in a filly like this. She's had a little time now, had about a month. Okay, gets back on her game. She'll be forwardly placed. I think she has to be off of that race because there's not a lot of true speed in here. Can she get the trip? The talent is there. It's a little bit of a reach because you got some fillies in here that are proven at a route of ground. Baccia for Grand Motion and the 8 I'm Blushing for sure for Brittany Russell.
I will say, though, Vancouver has been 20% with his second-time turf and 17% with the first-time routers. So
Okay.
there's
That's
a little hope.
Okay.
A little bit. That's what caught my attention first and foremost with this filly. So a little bit of hope, but like you said, there's a lot go. There's a couple of these talented fillies, and I'm also waiting. I have the 8 underneath. I'm blushing with the all brandy. It just didn't quite get the trip. I think got a little bit intimidated, had a little bit of that green moment because those 2 in a row wins coming again from the fairgrounds were just a little bit too easy. Got a little bit of challenge in the all brandy, so got a good experience out of that last time out. And then just to the inside again, the Grand Motion horse just didn't clearly just went off super slow. Giving this horse the winner off and coming back hopefully with a nice little slice. Nightcap.
We saw Baccia. We saw what
Yes.
Grand Motion did. Was it this week? In a couple of days. Lachine came back with Ruiz.
Yes.
Off of this type of layoff, even a little bit longer layoff in the State Bred A other than. Laid a little closer, brought a bigger kick, a top fig out of there. So Baccia is going to be ready. First time Lasix. Look at the company lines. Palm Alley, Aunt Pearl. These are Breeders' Cup types of fillies. Really good field. So she was able to win first time out. I think she's going to bring a good kick as well. So Gastown Babe, she's going to be fully extended, I think, to get it done if she's going to get it done against this group. But she might offer just a touch more value. So tough for me to separate. I know Rodman, real quick, he likes Irie Express. You know, he's sharp. Always trust Rodman's opinion. So there's another one at a big price, 2 back. See if she can bring it. She might go to the front and go a long way.
Yep. Let's see. If she didn't bounce too much and repeat after that. Let's see if she can get. But let's kick in to our nightcap of the day. The maiden claiming at 12.5, 6 furlongs on the dirt. You end up with Major Amiga on top for Marco Salazar Vilas. I just kind of switched my mind as I was looking at these races right after I sent my picks in. So I definitely agree with you there. I see what you're seeing there. I was giving Policewoman the benefit of the doubt, but I do like what I'm seeing as far as the ups. A little bit, just that last race was a little bit of a different filly last time out.
Yeah, the blinkers came off. That was the first time combination of blinkers off and Lasix. So Mara Amiga, right, some questionable speed types as well. Kobe's Girl went out there, got a little battle early and then spurted away from the field, couldn't last. In that race was the outside horse, the 8 Cage Prince. Cage Prince broke slow, rushed up. She didn't really give up. I like the way that she kind of stayed the trip. So you got Barbosa from the outside with a cleaner break. I think she's going to be forward. You've got some firsters right. You talked about Policewoman. Officer Buns, the mare, one debut, one on the turf, one on the dirt, had some speed. Interesting kind of a user. Tim Keefe doesn't win a lot first out, but catches a field that's certainly, if she's got a little bit of talent, she might just get it done. Congrats and get a horse to win first out.
I think I think Policewoman will be this. Will surprisingly show a little bit of speed on the backside, but I think I'm questioning this filly once we hit the half mile and we get a little bit going. That's my only question with this filly. But let's kick in. Those are our picks for race number 8. But let's kick on to lightning round. almost had all prices last time yesterday in the stakes, but right now we're seeing English Tavern and Eons go for it in the Prince George last time out. And, talking with the stewards afterward, they just noted that she ended up bumping a little bit, but we can touch on that a little bit later. But going back, Chubwagon giving a nice go, and then my price play Bella Gamba for Ignacio Carreras with the blinkers on last time out, and then you have Baron getting. We're about to see it. Baron getting it at $15 for Frankie Pennington and Robert Reed Jr. Off of a nice battle in the Memorial Dash.
Yeah, a couple really strong performances. I thought Barron was great in the DeFrancis. Was caught in between horses, and I was calling that chart, and as soon as he put a head in front coming to the quarter pole, I just kind of glanced down at the jock's hands, and he still hadn't moved.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this guy's running huge. And I see Wonder Craig is under pressure. To the inside, Special Reserve was under pressure, and see you later, kick clear.
Bye.
Really strong effort for the connections. Chris Pfeiffer, I've known him for a while. Great story. Has a son with autism. And now he donates some of the portions of the winnings to certain charities with that deal with autism. So that's a really good story there. I'm glad to see that. Snuck away at $15. This horse runs big every time he brings it. You got to love a horse like that. And Chubwagon, what can you say about her?
You can't say anything wrong. So and it's that filly Lupe was a little bit concerned once we had that storm breakthrough and we went to a sloppy surface, and he was just a little bit concerning about how that track was, about how she was going to handle that type of track. But that just shows why she was that. She is the 4-5 favorite, paying $3.80. Just went away with it. Can't wait to see what that filly is going to be bringing us next.
Yeah, and in Eons, we talked about English Tavern came out a little bit under the stick, and there was some bumping coming to the wire, so close decision there. Fortunately, had to be DQ'd. Bella Grande, good pick on that one.
Yep, thank you.
Bella Grande, Vincent Chaminade, I guess, was that his first mount here?
Chaminade, yes. Yep, that was his first mount. I believe he is the assistant as well for Carreras as well, so he just really knows this filly as well. So, but talking with the stewards a little bit about that takedown from English Tavern, they said you really had to watch the quarter pole, so that's viewing all of it from behind. If you watch it from behind, viewing it from the quarter pole angle, you really see it wasn't just a hind end shoulder action bump. It was a flat out body bump. That was just enough to take that down, but would have come in at a nice price. But a nice performance either way, but Eon's getting the best of the trip that day.
And put Petrichor on your stable mail if you use stable mail. Petrichor just had a brutal trip. Got caught inside, a little off, a little slow. Victor tried to save as much ground, and sometimes when it happens, it's your detriment. And unfortunately, she just could not find a path at any point. She might slip away somewhere else at an okay price. So there you go. And a good late pick 5 as well, $2,009.
It was late pick 5. Let's get on to, I just wanted to list off the list of gift card winners that we had yesterday. Patricia Kosika, Byron Dover, Cat Wolf, Carl Johnson, Heather Merchant, Brandon Dove, Jack Kaiser, and Mary Jo Durago. So if you're watching this and you haven't grabbed your $100 Visa gift card, head on over to Guest Services and claim your prize. Thanks for coming over yesterday.
You have until 12:30. You have 20 minutes, or it goes to Callie and I, and we get to put it into voucher form and bet it for you. So that's what we're going to do.
I love that. And I also wanted to bring up the special promotion that we have with First the Late for Pick and Split. So even if you just free registering, going for it, you're going to get $100 back. So it's a nice little cash pool that they all put together. It's a lovely little promotion. Go to first.com /bet/promotions or ExpressBet. Log into your ExpressBet and register for free. Lovely little go. But Keith, let's get into your best bet and your value play today.
Best bet race 2, number 1, Brondo. We talked about the stat. Lacey Godot, very good, 26% the last few years. Dirt sprints, first off the claim at Laurel. Looks to me like the main speed, got a little help with the scratch of the 2 just to the outside. So let's see if Brondo, and he's, I think that he's now 1-for-1 as a gelding on the dirt. So that was the first time ever as a gelding on the dirt. And he won last time, goes off the claim, a little double jump here for Brondo. See if we can get it done. Value play, go to the 5th race, Benny Havens. All right, Tony Aguirre Jr., Benny Havens with X-Man. I think he'll get position early. He's got good positional speed. He'll work against this group. The last 60, 70 yards concerns me, but I think he's going to definitely make a move into it by the time they hit the 3/16. give you a little run for your money, maybe in that 8 or 10 to 1 range.
And I think Xavier's been meaning to be on Benny for at least the last couple goes, and just I think it was a circumstance thing, whether he was out of town or it just something happened where he wasn't able to get them out. So I think he's been meaning to get on Benny for 2022. So now we've got the matchup that TJ has been waiting for. Not that he's been disappointed with Bryson, but we get the original intention back on with Xavier Perez. But here we go. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy Sunday racing here at Laurel. We're going to kick in with Dave Rodman for changes and scratches.
You're all by yourself this afternoon,
I am all
huh?
by myself, yes.
Scheinman comes in for 3 days and dictates his own schedule. Sunday's off. It's
much.
beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to be John Scheinman, isn't it?
I guess
all right,
so.
everybody. Good luck.